budget friends, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Melissa and I'm just going to jump in and do a budget check-in here in YNAB. Today is the 20th of September. It is Friday. It is a week before we get paid again and I need to know what's happening with the budget. So I said, why not take you guys along with me just so we can go over what has been happening. So we're just going to jump in and talk about some transactions that we need to approve. There has been a lot that has been happening in this month, a lot of stuff that wasn't planned for, and a lot of stuff that were out of our control. And we're just trying to pivot and move around and try to get these things taken care of. So you do see $100 here and ready to assign. This is money that hubby made doing a little bit of side work. He actually made $200, but I needed some extra money. So he gave me $100 out of that. And this is going to be, it's already put to good use. So we'll discuss what will happen with this $100 here. So first up, let's just look at the 5 new transactions to approve. So here is Capital One number 2. So we are both Jamaicans, hubby and I. I have been living here for a number of years, but he has only been here for a few years. He's eligible to file for his citizenship to the US. So we did go in and put in the application to the USCIS. That fee now is $710. I did put it on one of my credit cards. I am going to put this into reimbursement because hubby is going to have to cover this. This is his charge. So I'm just waiting for him to get up some money to be able to cover this. And yes, I shouldn't have put this on a credit card, but this is very important for us. This is the stage we are in life, and he should have saved for this, but he didn't. But anyway, it is what it is. $710 is on my Capital One number 2 card, and I'm gonna have to get rid of this before the month ends. So let's just approve that. I do want to say to you guys that if I do sound a little bit different, it's because I got my tooth pulled yesterday and I do have a temporary end, but it comes with a slight thing on my palate. And to me, it sounds different, but because I'm not able to access my full palate. So it's just a temporary to get me through the healing process until I can get the implant done. Yesterday, I was so nervous, you guys. So I went in yesterday and got the extraction. I was so nervous. I think I was getting myself so worked up for nothing. But I have had bad experiences with dentists. And I think I was just living in that moment where, I'm just expecting the worst. But let me tell you, this periodontist, he was so gentle. I swear, I didn't feel not an ounce of pain. I felt no pain. I felt the pressure, but I felt no pain during the process. And just to let you guys know, because of my heart condition, I can't take epinephrine. So he had to use like local anesthetics, and that wears off so fast. So he had to constantly be injecting more of the anesthetic so I wouldn't feel the pain. But for like Novocaine, which does have the epinephrine in there, he couldn't use that one, and that one lasts longer. So if you've ever been to the dentist and when you get out, you're numb for hours. For me, I swear, right out of the office, I was starting to, feel the numbness going away. And let me tell you, you guys, that pain was tenfold after I got out of the office. I went to the pharmacy and I damn near cried. I cried and I can't believe, and my tolerance for pain is very high. But when I tell you I was in so much pain yesterday, I had my son with me and we were sitting in the pharmacy waiting for the prescription, and the pharmacist was looking at me like, poor baby. I was in there just, wow. I was weeping without the tears coming down my face because I was in so much pain. But once I got the drugs in me, it helped. But right now I have to get used to speaking and eating with this slight temporary in my mouth. So if I sound a little bit different, I apologize. So let's just move on. Sinking funds. I did pay the heat and oil bill that came up, and I will discuss that. It came out of the sinking fund, so I transferred $185 to my Capital One number 2 card because that was the card that the heat and oil was charged to. So let's approve that one. And then there was $150 that came from the emergency fund. That was the next part of the payment. So let's approve that one. And then here's $185. So it's just showing both movements between the accounts. Then the orthodontist did take their $164 payment for my son's braces. So let's go ahead and approve that one. And what we're going to do, we're just going to look at all of the transactions, and I'm just going to let you guys know what has been happening since the month started. Let's jump over to the budget, and I'll be able to explain it a little bit better there. So we have two overspend categories, and let me just tell you guys what that is. It's the reimbursement for $710, but then there's also some credit card interest, and this is the interest that was charged to my Discover card of $126.08. So let's jump in and talk about what we have already spent for the month of September. There is 10 days left. We have one more pay period coming up, and I did have a discussion with hubby this morning. He has worked it out with HR. So what had happened with that, he has been having some issues with one of his supervisors at work. So he's like the level one. There's a manager who's a level two. There's a supervisor who's a level three. And then there's the big boss who's the level four. So he's been having issues with the supervisor, the level three man. And it had gotten to a point where hubby was ready to leave the job because he was like, it's not worth the amount of stress that he's getting. And this man has no respect for his workers. So hubby was like, listen, I'm a grown man and I don't need another man to talk to me as if I'm a boy. So he wasn't having half of the stuff that the supervisor was coming at him. The supervisor has been riding him real hard. There was a week that he was ready to walk off the job. I kind of talked him into staying because, we don't need him to walk out of a job because we need the money. And I can't take the risk of waiting for him to find another job. Even though he's a tradesman, I can't wait a while because our home household budget needs the money. So anyway, instead of walking off the job, I had told him to speak to his manager. He has spoken to his manager before, which is the level two man, and that manager has told him that, listen, the supervisor is also my boss, so I can't do anything. So when he told me that morning, I said to him, call the big boss. And he wasn't at work that day. So he got on the phone and he called the big boss, and the big boss was like, okay, I'm out of town. I can't rectify the matter, but way we need you as a worker. What I can authorize you to do is to take some PTO time. So he was like, okay. He called me back and I was like, well, that's much better than you leaving. He went into the secretary and told her that's what he was going to do. Well, there was some mess up there between the secretary submitting the PTO time because that time never appeared on his paycheck. And that's the reason why he wasn't able to put any money into the household budget because they didn't pay him for the PTO. So that's something that he's rectified with HR and or the payroll department, and supposedly it's supposed to come on the next pay period, which is on the 27th. So we'll see if, they don't screw something else up. Hopefully the money that he didn't contribute last pay period will come into this pay period and we'll be able to clear up the credit card charges that we have charged so far. So, all right, let's go down into the monthly bills. Before I do that, I need to put something in here because I did charge it to my Chase card. So the periodontist yesterday, as you can see here, it's independent because the periodontist, I did have to pay $1,950 because they did end up giving me a $300 discount. It is in pending right now, so I'm going to leave that, but that will be something that I'm going to have to cover. I'm going to try to cover it before the month is out because I really don't want to roll into the month of October with any new credit card charges. But if I can't do it, this is something that the dentist or dental insurance is going to reimburse me because they have already pre-approved it. So now that the work is done, it won't take as long of a time for them to send me the reimbursement check in the mail. All right, so let's go into the monthly bills. So the rent check has been paid and cleared. The electric, I paid $100.38. HP Inc. was $1.62. Peloton has been paused. Google Cloud, I paid $2.16. Renters insurance, I paid $38.78. So this was pretty good. I'm happy I was able to come in under $40. iCloud storage hasn't gone out yet. I should expect it to happen sometime tonight or tomorrow. So there's $10 waiting to be paid. And SiriusXM is not due just yet, but there's $8 in the category to be paid also. The cell phone and the internet, those are due at the end of the month, so I'll worry about those when we get there. Okay, into main focus, student loan has been paid in full for the month. One main, I paid a half of the monthly payment. I'm waiting to pay the second half when we get paid again. So I'm not worried about that. Plus, I'm not behind because I'm paid up. I'm paid ahead maybe by 2 years. Lending Club, I still have a half a payment of $529.22 to pay before the 30th of this month. Into credit cards, I did pay Marcus, Discover, and I also paid Mattress Firm. Those have already cleared my accounts. Famous Footwear is at a zero balance, so is Carter's because I did pay off the clothing cost that was on this card. Capital One number one, I still have a little bit of a payment to make before the end of the month. Let's just take a look as to what it's asking for the target, $336.13. We'll see if we'll be able to pay that before the month is out. And Capital One number two, I still have $11.35 available to pay, but it's asking for $98.18. Apple Card, I have paid everything that I have charged to this card, but it's still asking for $46.27 because technically I have not made my minimum payment as yet. In the transportation section, so I have paid half of my auto loan. I will have to pay the second half before the 25th of this month. I'm trying to get hubby to figure it out because I don't want to have to pull any more money out of sinking funds to do this or out of the emergency fund because this is not an emergency, but we'll figure it out. The car insurance has been paid for $257.40. Fuel, I have paid up to $97 already, but I do have some transactions that I need to enter that is on my Apple Card. So instead of going on, let's go ahead and do this now because the pharmacy run yesterday, the Apple Card is not pulling in the transactions anymore, so I need to enter them myself. All right, so yesterday I went to the pharmacy and I did two separate charges because I picked up one prescription and then I realized there was a second prescription there. So I picked that one up too. One was 48 cents. Thank God for insurance. And then the next one was $4.37. Like I said, thank God for insurance. And then today, before recording this video, I went to Speedway and I got some more gas. And I filled the tank up because I was running almost on empty and I spent $96 even. All right, I think that was it. I didn't spend anything else in the last few days. Let's just jump back down and we can talk about what is in the transportation section. So far I'm up to $193 in gas. I'm overspent, of course, by the $96. Then I don't have anything for maintenance, repairs, parking fees, and tolls. Now in the personal section, I've only spent $28.85 so far in this section for braids and things. I did have $30 here, but I did have to roll with the punches and use this $30. Well, it's a little bit less than 30 because as you can see, I have 86 cents left. I did roll with the punches and use the money that was there. So this one, let's send this back to ready to assign. Okay, now moving down into everyday spending. So you guys, I did have to go grocery shopping. Like I said, I have young kids. They do go to school. They bring snacks. They have to bring their lunch to school. There is no lunch in school. Plus, my son has allergies to different food groups. So I feel more comfortable giving him lunch from home. And let's talk about what has happened. So co-pay so far, we've spent $70. Dental, the dental will come in when that transaction on the Chase card has cleared. Eating out, I'm up to $43.19. So on the 7th, I got bagels. On the 8th, I got bagels. On the 12th, I had taken my little one to go get ice cream. I went to a restaurant for $15. This was a day at work. I went and got Chinese food and it was awful. So I wasted $15 because the food actually went into the garbage. And then on the 18th, I got an ice cream bar at Speedway, and then I got a quick breakfast. I think it was coffee and a croissant at 7-Eleven. I had an appointment away from home. So that was it. I haven't spent that much in eating out. So we're doing pretty good in this category. And also with groceries, we've spent $606.83. So we went to the market for $12.66. We went to CVS for $6.24. We went to King Cullen, and this is where I buy most of my groceries for $229.60. Then spent $153.76. Then CVS, I bought water for $13.37. And then King Cullen, which was on the 18th, I spent $191.20. So next category is given. I still have $5 here because I did not buy anything. I didn't get my son's haircut just yet, so I haven't used that money. But also this $4.80 that's left in groceries, I'm going to send that back to Ready to Assign. Next is the heating oil. We did have to get heating oil. I got this on the 16th. I spent $346.35. Now the budget of the available money that was in our home sinking fund was only $300. So we did have to roll with the punches to cover the $46.35, which as you can see, we did. I did move some money around from different areas. Household goods, I broke down, you guys. I did buy the paper towels. I had to. I couldn't bring my mind to not buy them. So $145.67 has been spent so far. And I'm gonna put this in here to say it was the paper towels, and they were on sale. So this was a big pack. I paid, it was $18.99, but with tax it came up to $19.32. So that was the $20 that I did put aside in the household. So let's continue on. We still have 68 cents left in household, so I'm going to send this also back to Ready to Assign. Next is medication. So I did check with the pharmacy about the medication for my son because this was why I put the money in here originally. They're still having some issues waiting for the medication to be approved by his doctor. But since it's almost payday again, which is in 7 days, I'm going to send this $5.15 back to Ready to Assign to cover other things that I need. Now, propane, I still haven't seen the bill, but I know there's a bill out there. Reimbursements, that's the $710, and unexpected spending. So hubby needed $30. I don't remember what he said he needed it for, so I gave him $30, and that I put in unexpected spending. Now into the My Baby section. After school, I did pay $20 and they have cashed that check already. I'm surprised because I think I gave it to them last Thursday and by Monday the check was cleared. So isn't that something? And also babysitter, I needed a babysitter twice. It was last Friday and also on Monday, so I paid her $40 for those 2 days. Braces was paid and cleared. Child support was sent out for $263. The clothes and shoes for $86.23 was paid. And supplies was the only other thing. This was some back to school stuff for $56.79. Everything else is just our sinking funds and true expenses and our savings in Save Up. So I don't need to do anything else here. What I'm going to do is to just go in and cover what overspending I can cover. I know $111.49 is not going to stretch as far as I wish, but I know that I will be able to cover the money that I spent on gas for the $96. Let's go ahead and do that. And it leaves us with $15.49. And what I'm going to do with that $15, I'm going to put it into spend how I want. So that's it. Now we're down to zero again. I know $100 wasn't a lot of money, but it came in pretty handy because I needed to get gas for the car because we were down on E. So now we do have the two overspend categories left. It's the credit card interest to my Discover card, and then the money that hubby will be sending back to me before the end of the month. So that's it, you guys. This is where we are in the budget. It's not going as bad as I thought. Other than that $710 that came in, we're still on track, you guys. We're still on track. We have not pulled too much money out of savings. So let's go down to the two expenses and I will show you. There is $300 here that was pulled out. And then there was $45 here. This is the additional money to cover the heating oil. I did pull that out of here. But other than that, you guys, I didn't have to pull any more money out of or sinking funds or true expenses. So that is pretty good. All the money that has been paid out so far did come from our money that was available in our account, not from our sinking funds. So, you guys, I appreciate you so much for clicking on and watch this video. If you have not subscribed already, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel just so you can follow along with my journey. But until next time, you guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye now.